Hi, my name is John Hanson.
I'm Katie Lee.
And I'm Ali in NDI.
I'm Travis Cumming.
And we are here to present our recommendation for Element Ski Resort.
Element Ski Resort is located in Wasatch Mountain Range in Salt Lake City, Utah. It has been a premier destination for winter sports enthusiasts since 1988. Resorts consist of 23 runs of varying difficulty and backcountry terrains. Element is known for being very accommodating towards any type of skier, whether it be first-time skier or Olympic skier. Element has something for every level of skier at the resort. At the base of this mountain, Element operates a hotel that contains 200 rooms, provides customers with all types of combinations of home and exceptional service. Also located on the base of the mountain, as well as two other locations, are Element's full-service cafeterias that boast a wide selection of food. Element is an elevated resort that is a haven for fresh snow. Over the past 22 years of operation, the resort recorded an above-average snowfall for 21 of those years. And in addition to the incredible snow records, Element prides themselves on maintaining the most reasonable prices among all of the Utah ski resorts.
So that being said, we have been hired by Element because they're facing a problem that has to do with the decrease in customer numbers and as well as revenues. And they think that that problem is a trend throughout the nation and it has to do with the economic downturn. So keeping that in mind, we have conducted a couple pre-proposal research to have the full information regarding the status quo. And what we have found on one hand is that the results that we have are not totally aligned with an Element viewpoint of the situation. For example, sources that we have from Bloomberg show that Vail Resort have a recorded increase in customer number. Or the New York Times also has an article that shows that throughout the nation, resorts have been able to increase their revenues for the past 5 years. So on the other end of the spectrum, we also have results that totally correlate with Element view of the situation. For example, one of the reasons that has to do with the economic downturn is the fact that people have lost their confidence in the economy. Many individuals have lost their jobs or have faced decrease in their salaries or have lost their retirement portfolio. So they are skeptical when it comes to spending extra money. And also another problem is the fact that traveling agencies have increased their traveling cost to offset the increase in oil prices or the decrease in air travel demand. Some article that we find in the U.S. Bureau of Transportation have statistics showing that in the past 12 months, there have been 30 attempts to increase traveling fees, and they have succeeded in doing so about 20 times. And finally, in direct correlation with the increase in traveling cost, people just don't want to travel far. They want to stay local and spend 1 or 2 days in ski resorts as opposed to having long trips, and that would require them to book expensive hotels or buy expensive tickets.
So taking this problem that Element has, we have noticed that, based on the general economy, that first of all, consumers don't want to spend money. Travel costs have increased. They want to travel locally, and also the overlying fact that Element really can't decrease its costs. So based on that, we do agree with Element that we need to modify the existing marketing strategy. In addition to this, they felt that it should be turned into a global marketing strategy. While we agree, we feel that, like we just noted in all of these problems, it should be heavily localized. So therefore, we decided to come up with a list of steps that we need to go through to actually make sure that we are hitting the correct marketing mediums that will be the most effective for Element. With our first step, we will look at least two successful ski resorts as listed in their financial statements. So when looking at these two, we will look at the customer base that they hit, the advertising strategies that they use, and other differentiating factors. We will also create a survey. This survey will give us empirical results or empirical data that will tell us what consumers are actually willing to do, especially people who are very interested in skiing. This will give us firsthand evidence of this. Finally, as you can see here, we are going to analyze Element's current marketing strategy. This will really help give us kind of a background towards what's really going on at Element and how we can actually change their past marketing strategy to be more effective. So looking at this first, Vail Ski Resort is one of the most successful ski resorts in the United States right now. When looking at their customer base, they have an average income of over $170,000. Also, most of the customer base is located on the very localized West Coast, not throughout the whole United States. So it's a very localized customer base. The advertising mediums that they use are heavily focused towards magazine ads, banner ads, social media, and podcasts. So this is the advertising mediums that they use and they consider to be the most effective. They are also known as the most, just for some other background information, they're the most expensive ski resort out in the United States. And it's also the largest single mountain ski resort in the United States. So those are some of the benefits that Vail shows, and we will use those in the future process of actually coming up with our recommendation. The next ski resort that we looked at is Park City. Park City is located right in Salt Lake City next to Element. It's a canyon over. And Park City is less expensive than Vail. It usually hits a target customer of over $100,000. So it's a little less expensive than Vail. They like to also focus on weddings and corporate travel to bring a large amount of their customer base in. Some of the advertising mediums they use, they're heavily focused on internet advertising, which is usually considered a cheaper form of advertising. They use Facebook and Twitter, which are actually considered free advertising mediums. And they also use printed ski magazines to put their advertisements in. They are very easy to access to the internet, as is Element. So that's something that we would be able to use in our recommendation when we promote Element. Finally, the amount of snow received through the winter is exceptional, like we just noted, like Katie noted earlier. So moving on, we also did an empirical survey. With this survey, we asked two questions. What do you consider to be the most effective advertising mediums? And also, out of internet advertising mediums, which are considered to be the more modern form of advertising, what you consider to be the most effective. As you can see here, word of mouth, TV, radio, internet, sponsorships, and print. That is the order of the effectiveness of advertising mediums. We were going to use this to actually move into which advertising mediums we will rank based on their effectiveness. When looking at internet, social media is the highest effectiveness out of all internet advertising mediums. Underneath that, you have online publications, mailing lists, banner ads, and pop-up ads. So we took these two pieces of information to come up with our final recommendation. Next we have Element's current marketing strategy. They've heavily focused first on ski magazines. They will put advertisements in Powder Magazine, Ski Magazine, etc. It was heavily focused. The problem with this is it only hits a very direct, form of customer base, and it's the heavily influenced or really focused skier. It doesn't hit just the normal family who goes skiing once a year. They also have local TV. Local TV is very localized, but the problem is Element's past commercials have not been in high definition. They look very outdated, therefore it could turn off a lot of customers. Finally, they have ski shops. They've really looked to go into ski shops. Another problem with that is it only hits a certain customer. And not to mention, there are other companies who are trying to go into the ski shop, so it's never been a very effective advertising medium. So moving on from there, we've been able to kind of create a new, priority list. Ranked by effectiveness, we have from 1st to 5th, word of mouth, TV, radio, internet, sponsorships, and print. While also taking into account of cost effectiveness, we've ranked them by which one's the most cost effective. Word of mouth still is the most cost effective, increasing to internet, print, TV, radio, and also sponsorships. So these are considered our most cost effective, ranked by also the most effective advertising mediums. And putting these together, we've been able to form our recommendation.